I mean, you've got to be a brave vendor right now to say no when you're only 20 grand short and go on holidays at Christmas thinking that you might get more in the new year. You've got to be a brave vendor if you're only 20 grand short. And I had a few of those. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 13th rate rise that I think has tipped the bucket. On this same program, the Panos Market Wrap, if you go listen back the last few months, what have I been saying? That at the end of November and December, stock levels grow, buyers get lethargic, and, hey Johnny, quite frankly, it took 12 rate rises and nothing had happened. And then on Melbourne Cup Day, that rate rise that got us all by surprise after having a pause for 2 months has now kicked in. 2 out of 9 today. 2 out of 9. Not only that, I've been looking at the results around the place. Gold Coast had an agent just report in 0 out of 7 in his area today. Right, the list goes on. I've seen other networks that get their results. Uncollectables are through the roof. They're not reporting them in. Past ins through the roof. Sole priors through the roof. They're all saying to you one thing. There's not 10 people fighting over the one property. Yes, you will read tomorrow. You will read tomorrow in the Sunday press about some joint that hasn't been on the market for 50 years, that had 27 people registered, and that it went off. That does not represent the market. That represents that property. People will decide it's time to sell over Christmas and lots of early in the new year. My thoughts anyway, says Ben. So, what are some of the things that I want to touch on today? Number one, Muhammad Ali says a price is going to drop more, you reckon, next year. As far as I'm concerned, we know they've already started dropping the last few months. It's not me saying it. Go look at all the data companies. The data's there. It's black and white. I had SQM on my show this week. I haven't got a show. On my video, I had Louis Christopher on. He's already preempting. He's basically saying the only markets he sees that are going to go up next year are Brisbane and Perth and Adelaide, potentially. He's not feeling bullish about Sydney or Melbourne. And don't forget, we are talking about, team, 2 markets. Let's be very clear. Welcome to Australia, everyone. There are 2 markets. You know what they are? There's the market that is the mortgage market, where people take out loans, and there is the unmortgaged market, where there's no mortgages. And all the conversations I'm having about challenges and tipping points and mortgage cliff has nothing to do with the unmortgaged market. Life is great for them. Amazing. In fact, one of them said to me, keep raising the rates. I've got 10 million in the bank. I'm getting 6%. Keep raising the rates up. My life is a lot better. I'm not talking about that marketplace, right? We've actually got an absolute problem here in real estate. We've got a problem because do you know that units now, it is like if you buy a unit, you can't build a unit now for the price that they are. You can't build it. They're incredible value, but no one's touching them. And here's the problem. Here lies the problem. The problem is the gap between units and houses has grown dramatically. Units are too low. Developers won't buy because building materials have gone up 40%. They work off margins on 20%. It's not stacking up for them, so they're not buying. You've got this building commissioner in New South Wales anyway, who on the one hand, it looked like we're onto something good here. We've got a guy here who's going to make sure that we're going to get rid of these dodgy buildings. But what's he done in between? This guy slowed down the whole process. You make some variation, things go on hold. Why do you think developers don't want to build? Because they know that the DA process is strung out to 2 years. I know it myself. I've had a DA out there, right? I'm no big developer. I was just building 3 homes in Byron Bay. It's come through. I wasn't chasing it because My intention is not to build straight away, but I wanted to get it there. That was nearly 2 years. And no builder wants to go off and build anymore. So why? Because the numbers don't stack up. So how do you make the numbers stack up? Think about it. How do you make the numbers stack up? Well, it's either building materials have got to go down. That's not happening. Prices never go down once they go up on materials or services. So then you say, oh, the development site, what they buy has to drop. Or the other lever is the resale price of the units they build have to go higher. Otherwise, it doesn't stack up. And it's not stacking up at the moment. And because it's not stacking up, no one's building. But yet, in the last year or so, 500,000 people entered into Australia. 500,000 people. No thinking about it. Where were you going to put them? Where do you think they're going to go do? Live in caravan parks? How many people can you put in detention centres? For God's sake. Yes, I am fired up because I'm always thinking to myself, there's no thought process to it. You saw that at the moment with the Roselle, that new roadway that they've built. Oh, we're going to make it more efficient. It's been gridlocked. You've been hearing about it. Why? Because what they've done is Band-Aid solution. Oh, let's sort that out. But there's a problem that you're causing there. Anyway, team, the point I'm making here is that it's really clear. People that work in councils have to start doing some proper work, including Albanese. Yes, I am fired up. Albanese has had more press conferences overseas than in Australia. I mean, I travel for work. I've got to tell you, I find it damn tiring. It's really hard to do work when you're actually flying, going to hotels, check in, get out there. How does this guy actually do any work? How does he do any work? I'm just thinking, all he is he's going from one place to another in that blue suit. He is looking better. He's lost a few kilos. You should give that building commissioner his diet. He's got to go low carb, that guy. He's got buttons popping out of his shirt. Anyway, team, the point I'm making here is we've got an undersupply of property because councils are not doing their job. They just hang out in the office pretending to be busy. I'm sure that some council workers are good. They've got to start signing off things sooner. DAs have to stop not being 2 years. You've got to shorten that process, right? So let's just talk about this for a moment very quickly. What do? There's auctions right till the 23rd. I'm doing auctions right till Christmas Day, right? The day before Christmas. Anyway, what do? On the 16th, which is next Saturday, if you're a real estate agent and you got a property and there is zero interest in that property right now, you know what I suggest you do? I suggest that you take it off the market and you relaunch it back in the new year, new photos, new copywriting, maybe even a new price, make it look like a new listing. Go speak to realestate.com, see what deals they've got there that you can relaunch your property on REA and what have you. That's what I would do it. That's what I would do right now. I would take it off and I would relaunch in the new year if you've got no buyers. If you have got buyers, I'd be running it. Or if you've got potential buyers, I'd be running it. But if it's something right now, 7 days out, there is zero interest, that's what I would do. And if you're a vendor and you're watching this right now and you're currently on the market or your property was up for auction today, I've got to tell you, if your agent gave you something within 5% of what you wanted, I would accept it right now. I would accept it. Cash is king. Anyway, team, I've got to go in. I've got a vendor meeting. And then I've got a 5:45 auction.